Hey, what is up, guys? Chase Lauber here, bringing you another NBA offseason video. Right now, we're going to be talking about Fred VanVleet re-signing with the Toronto Raptors, 2 years, $18 million. And you know what? Good for Fred VanVleet. Just a personal grade on Fred VanVleet. This is an A+ contract. I'm so happy that Fred VanVleet got this contract. This guy, if you heard this guy's story, this dude has been fighting to be in the NBA. The guard out of Wichita State. I think it was like, I read a report that he's been in the G League, in and out of the G League like 9 times. Like the D League, G League, whatever you want to call it. That's crazy, man. 9 times. You would think that shatters someone's confidence. But man, Fred VanVleet, all it did is made him competent. And this guy was one of the runner-ups for the 6th Man of the Year award. He was someone that a lot of teams like the Suns, the Orlando Magic, that were just like, hey, we have some cap space. Let's overpay for this guy. But, you know, Fred VanVleet decided to sign a two-year contract with the Raptors, $9 million apiece. When you look at this contract right here from a Raptors perspective, you get a key bench rotation player like Fred VanVleet on a good deal. He's only signed for 2 years. And also, if you look at it from a Fred VanVleet perspective, hey, man, in that 2 years, if you end up doing well and you end up outplaying Kyle Lowry a little bit, and you start averaging a little bit more than the 9 points you were doing off the bench, because we've seen bench players before average a lot of points off the bench, like 12, 15. Heck, didn't Lou Will this year average like 19 or 20 points off the bench? If Fred VanVleet gets to that level where he starts averaging some points and assists and rebounds, where it looks like, hey, this guy has potential to be a starter caliber point guard, when the salary cap expands, oh, Fred VanVleet can be looking to make more money. And especially because Fred VanVleet's going to be on a team like the Raptors, who, you know, yes, they're not being oogled on like the Celtics and the Sixers as contenders in the East, but let's not get it twisted. The Raptors are still a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference as it stands. And when it comes down to it, VanVleet playing on a team like the Raptors, it makes GMs and scouts that are looking at him for free agency in 2 years and saying, hey, this guy could be something. So VanVleet really, to be honest, made a smart move staying with the Raptors. There wasn't some loyalty type of thing. VanVleet was saying, hey, look, I was going to get paid the same amount of money by a lot of teams. Maybe the Suns would have paid a little bit more for me. Maybe the Pacers would have paid a little bit more for me. And maybe the Magic would have just given me like $15 million a year. But really, what's the point of being a bad stat guy on a good stat guy on a bad team when I can be a solid stat guy on a contending team like the Toronto Raptors? And yes, I use contending team because when you're a top 4 team in the East, and the East might lose LeBron James, and when you look at the 4 teams in the East that may be contenders, the Raptors are one of those teams. Fred VanVleet is making some good progress right here. The Raptors made a good deal getting Fred VanVleet for only $9 million a year. You know, there's a lot of other bench players that are making a little bit more than him, but he's better than some bench players, and he's only making $9 million a year. The contract is very tradable too, especially if you just say, hey, look, we have Fred VanVleet. Isn't that enticing? Especially if you want to try to get someone that you feel like, if you feel like Fred VanVleet is not pushing you over the hump, and you're trying to find someone that is a starter, like at the small forward position or at the center position, or if you're trying to find someone else that is a bench player that could help you out. VanVleet is very, very attractive for a lot of teams. A lot of teams seem to like a Fred VanVleet. So when it comes down to it, I really do like this signing by the Raptors. VanVleet is a very consistent player. I really like that rotation would be VanVleet at the 1, Lowry at the 2, and DeRozan at the 3. I think that's a nice small ball rotation that causes a lot of teams some troubles and some fits, especially when DeRozan is going, because when you get DeMar DeRozan going, and I felt DeRozan got a lot more going when VanVleet was running the point sometimes than Kyle Lowry at certain points in games, that's when the Raptors kind of get a little scary. Sure, VanVleet in the playoffs, he was kind of hit or miss. But overall, though, you know this guy throughout the regular season is going to be consistent. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a 6th Man of the Year contender again. And if it doesn't work out for the Raptors, no harm, no foul. We gave you your money. Let's trade you to another team because another team will trade for you, and we can get pieces back for you that are worth our time. So ultimately, good move for the Raptors and good move for Fred VanVleet if it ultimately works out like how I said it did earlier in the video. Anyways, what do you guys think about this signing? Leave it in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.